everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and today I am here with card number 1 for my May's online workshop. And this is the card that I made, and it sits up like this to give you a view, and then it's going to look like that. So let's get started. It's got a lot of detail and cuts and scores and stuff in it. And the bundle that we're using for this month's online class is Wisteria Wishes. I absolutely love this set. So let's get started on how I put the card together. But I went ahead and did my die cutting and stuff ahead of time on these because there's a lot of stuff to put together and I didn't want the video to go on forever. So, okay. And so the first thing that we have to do is you are going to have a card base that is 8.5 by 4.25, and then you need another base, another front end of the card right here, which is this part, and this one's 8.5 by 2.25. And I'm going to bring out the scoreboard. You can either use your scoreboard or you can use your trimmer. I'm going to bring in the trimmer. And we are going to score these at 1.5 and at 3 on both of them. So we're going to put it at 1.5 right here. And we're going to score. And then we're going to put it in at 3 right here. And we're going to score. Okay? And then we'll set that aside for a minute and we'll bring in this piece. And we're going to score it at 1.5 and score. And then we're going to put it in as 3 and score. So that's our scoring. So now we're going to bring this back over and we're going to just score on these score lines. Let me get my score tool. Okay. And then this way. Alright. So we have them going like this. This is the one that is going to go like this. And then we've got this one, and we're going to score it this way. And then this one this way. And then let's put this up here. And let's score this one back because I had it going the wrong way. And we've got this one going like this. So this is how, oops, nope, I fibbed. Like this. So you got this one going this way, this one going this way, so that when you put them together, it'll look like this. This is aside because we don't need them anymore for a minute. And we're going to bring in some paper that we're going to be doing some stamping and die cutting and stuff on. So we need a piece of Whisper White that is 5.25 by 4, and then we need another piece of Whisper White that is 5.25, oops, this one, 5.25 by 2. This is my leftover stamping piece. I gave you guys in your kit, like, I don't know, more than a full sheet of paper that you're going to need in your kit for all your die cutting and stamping. And this is what I had left over because I left one to show you some stamping in. And then these are our DSP pieces that we'll need when we get ready. So let's get out my foam mat here because I can't find my real foam mat. I don't know, I rearranged my craft room. And when I rearranged the craft room, I misplaced my piercing mat. I don't know how it happened. I mean, I cleaned it up, moved things around, and now I've lost it. So I've ordered a new one. So do you know what that means? I'm going to find my old one. That's usually how that works. Okay, so the colors that we need are Flirty Flamingo and Blushing Bride. These are the colors that I used for this. We are also going to need a scrap piece of, I left it over here, a scrap piece of paper. So I got a scrap piece of paper here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Blushing Bride and our stamp set that looks like this. And we're going to stamp this up really good. And then we're going to bring it over here and we're going to stamp off, just a light stamp off. Don't like hold it down. You're just going to do a quick down, quick up. And then we're going to stamp right here on, well, you could do it this way. It doesn't really matter which way. And we're going to stamp down and up. And there we go. And it's okay that it's, it'll get lighter. It looks a little dark right now, but it'll definitely get lighter. And then we need the color Pear Pizzazz. We're going to bring this one out, and we're going to have our little leaves, because we need a set of these. And we're going to do this and stamp them up. All my pads are a little extra juicy. I just refilled them all. And we're going to turn this one this way. And I can't see it on the camera. I hope I gave myself a big enough scrap piece. You know what? I don't think I did. So I'm going to need another scrap piece here. There we go. I thought I gave myself a big enough piece, and I didn't. And we're just going to push down on this and let it absorb into the paper, and there we go. Now we're going to come back to this piece, and we're going to open up the Flirty Flamingo, and we're going to take this little guy. Now back to what we were doing. We're going to take the Flirty Flamingo and we're going to stamp it, this little guy, into it. And then we are going to stamp, stamp, and stamp. It gives it like a off-scent set of a look, and I really like it. There we go. So now we got that on there. We're going to stamp this up into the Pear Pizzazz like that. This is getting stamped right here, just like this. Ta-da! And then we need to get back out our colors again that I put away because me thinking that we didn't need them. And then we're going to get out the Blushing Bride. Again, stamping it. You don't have to stamp off if you don't want to. I just liked it a little bit lighter on the background of it, so I did. Let's stamp this down. Let's see, I have them right there. And then I'm going to bring in the Flirty Flamingo. Just right here. And we're going to stamp this one. These look like they're blowing in the wind a little bit. Oops. Guess I got them a little tipped. It's okay. It's all good, guys. All good. Okay, put that one back. Alright, now I got to put a piece of scrap paper here. We're going to come back to this one. I'm just going to work with the green for a minute. And we are going to be creating this piece right down here. So I am going to go ahead and stamp this, and I'm going to stamp these, being mindful for what's on top. It's okay if it hangs off on the top or the bottom. That doesn't really matter, and which they all do. So it's okay. I'm just kind of stamping these right across here like this. And then because I didn't want this piece to just be hanging out here all alone, I did stamp some leaves on it like that, just like that there. Okay, now we're going to go, and I got to get my blending brush here. We're going to get a green blending brush, and I just freshly stamped these ink pads, so I'm going to go off the page a lot and then come back on. So I'm going to go off and then come up. Off and then come up. And you should always go off anyway, so you don't get that big blob on the card. I like a little darker in my corners and along the bottom, but otherwise, this is how I like it to look. Okay, so there's that piece. That piece is done, so we could set that aside. And now we're gonna get the pool party and so now we're gonna bring back in this piece, and over in this corner, as you could see on here, and over top of the flower and the leaves, I am going to be putting some blue. Okay, so stamp again, stamp off, and then come inward. Now you can make this as dark or as light as you want. And I just wanted it to look like there was some blue behind these flowers, so I just did this. I didn't over and there we go, and I like that. So that's all I did to this, other than I need to get out the black. And now when I originally did this, I had it stamped over here farther because I didn't know that I wanted to stick a flower right here, and it just hits the wording just a little bit. So this time I'm going to move it over towards the left a little, now that I know from the first one. So I'm going to move it over this way quite a little bit. I'm going to keep it towards the top so you'll be able to see it. And I'm going to put it down. Okay, just like that. So now we can start building our card. Let's clear up some of this stuff, and let's start with the bottom panel first here. So we could take and add some adhesive to the bottom of this. Okay. There we go. And then on the side here in DSP, we have 2 of these panels that are 1 1/4 by 4. So these 2 are going to go right here. And we're just lining these up to the side, and then even with the white panel that I just put down. Okay. Okay, so that's all I did to this panel, so we could set that panel aside for now. So now we're going to bring in this panel. We have 2 pieces of DSP that is 1 1/4 by 2. Okay, I'm back. I noticed that I had this piece when I said the right measurements, 2 1/4, 8.5 by 2 1/4, but when I put this up to the base, I saw that it looked a little bigger, so I had to trim a 1/4 inch off mine and put these back down. So now that I have this down, what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to the card. But before I do that, I want to take one of these and put these together. Now I've already gone ahead and cut out all my pieces except for these that I just stamped. So let's die cut these. really wants to come out. So gotta be definitely careful. And it is just a pour in. I'm gonna tip that up right. I dab some of this off. You don't need a lot of glue when it comes to this Tombow glue. It's good glue and it adheres quick. Okay, so like I said, I wanted one of these cut off. So what I ended up doing is I just snipped along here, and then along here, and here, and then I cut up through here, like this. And then I didn't want this one little leaf like hanging out in there, so I kind of cut it off. Just reached in there, snipped it off. If I can get that piece to snip now. There we go. And I just shaped this one a little bit better right here. So now I have two. I don't want points on my little flower, so make sure all the points are cleared up from when you trimmed it off. So that's what that one looks like. Then I went ahead with this one, and I cut this top leaf off because I thought it looked weird with no, and I'm cleaning up the points. And then this one I just kind of shaped here, made it look like a better leaf. And then up here I just shaped this in more, like that. There we go. So now we have two separate little pieces that we can use. And I just laid that. Nope, I didn't. Okay. So now this piece is going to go down here on the card, like that. That's where I end up putting that piece. So let's just add some adhesive, glue, and I've got way too much right there. And that's going to make a mess on my card. So definitely dab it off. And there we go. And then we're going to put this right here. Isn't that beautiful? So far, I'm in love with it. So far. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add we're going to add this to this card, just like this. So what I did was I put liquid glue on here. You don't need a lot, so okay. And I'm going to attach it right to the edge of this one, just like that. And let it here. Give it a minute or two. And then on this one here, I'm going to flip this out of the way, and actually, before I flip it out of the way, I'm going to put this down to where I want it to be, right on the edge, like that. I'm going to take a little marker, and pencil, and I'm just going to mark right there, a very tiny dab. So now I know I can put glue anywhere from that mark down. Why does that mark seem so high to me? But it's not. And I don't want to go past the fold. Okay? I just want to stay within that area. And I don't want to go past the fold. So we're going to line this up. And we're going to put this down. So you're just not going past the fold. And then you can come back in and you can erase if you see that little mark, which I don't usually go that dark, but I kind of wanted you guys to see it, so I hope it picked that up in the camera. And then I'm just going to let that adhere for a minute, and then your card is starting to swipe back and forth. Isn't that cool? I just love it. So the next thing we need is our pieces here. And so we're going to put our pieces on these flowers. So I just go ahead and I just add a little dab. You don't need a whole lot, like I said. And then we're going to add this one in here. And then we're going to take and we're going to add this one right here. I don't know, I have an extra flower. Must be I thought I needed an extra set. Okay. Alright, so now we have this. Isn't this cute? Oh. And then we're going to take and we're going to attach these together. Now this is part of the die cuts. This is part of the flowers. And we're going to attach them on here. And I'm just going to do little dabs. You don't need a lot. I like to, if I can get it to come out in dabs. If I get too big of dabs, I do end up putting it on my mat. Like I said, I got a couple big ones here. I don't like all that extra glue. And then I'm just gonna, oops, I see a piece I didn't poke out. So I'll make sure I get that out of there. Okay. And then we're just gonna kind of line it up. No right or wrong here. It's okay if it's off-centered a little bit. There you go. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. I'm going to add one right here, and then I add one right over here, just like that. We're going to attach this leaf here. I just cut this leaf down is all I did, and then I'm going to cut this and trim this. I trim this down. Hope all that was on camera. And then I put this one right here, just like that. Okay, now we have to add this piece in, and we need our little mechanism, as I call it, and this is what I am going to use. And I'm going to take some glue dots because I find this to be the easiest way to do it. I'm going to put a glue dot on each end of this, and I'm going to try to show you the best way to put this in. I want these facing me towards the front of the card. You don't have to, you can have them facing the other way, but I want them to be more spaced. I like finagle stuff. I have to hold it in my hand. I have to, and actually if you have a piece of scrap of this will definitely help. Put it over top of your glue dot so that way this piece is not in the way while you're trying to work on this piece. So take this, put it in here, kind of look in, and I got my fingers underneath, I got my fingers on top, and I'm eyeballing the center the best I can. And that's how I did it. I put one in on the center like that. Now let's attach the other side. This is where you can, well, it fell off, but you can remove that piece. Kind of get the center of where this piece is, and it looks like mine might have to be scored a tad bit more. I should have told you that they're scored at a 1/2 inch. And then try to line this up. This is where it gets a little tricky, and I might be making it more complicated because I'm trying to show you guys. And then bring this in. Yeah, that looks good. Once you like it, push it down. I don't know if you saw that, but you're putting that little mechanism in there and it will fold. I like to fold it a few times just to keep it folded. And that's how it should look once you get it in there. Then we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it right inside here like this. We're going to attach it to the little, and I'm going to add glue dots again, because so there's just a couple little tricks, and it's hard for me to show them on the camera, but I hope you understood what I wanted you to do and how to put this card together. So this is the card for card number 1. Also, if you want, for where you would write your greeting or whatever, you could put it on the back. I would cut another piece, add it to the back. So that's how I would do that. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll be back with card number 2.